Before we begin, this podcast is proudly brought to you by DubaiView, your boutique luxury real estate partner. We deliberately keep our family of clients small because we believe in building relationships, not just closing deals. If you are looking for your dream home in Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Hills or Dubai Hills Estate, we should talk. Head to our website for a free consultation. Let's find your perfect Dubai home together. Now back to our conversation. Welcome back to another DubaiView podcast episode. This week I am joined by Zeba Majithia. She's director of Fisco Solutions, and you're very well known as one of the most trusted golden visa and business setup specialists. Thank you so much for having you here.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Zeba, I saw you have a very impressive journey. So from my information, what I got, I hope they're right. You were starting with HSBC and Emirates NBD.
Yes.
And then you moved, let's say, into the corporate part, business setups, business solution, tax solutions, and golden visas.
Yeah.
What brings you from working in the bank to being, let's say, your own entrepreneur and helping people in Dubai to set up their businesses or golden visas?
Perfect. So I've worked in banking for a long time, in HSBC and Emirates NBD both. From my family, nobody's really done a job. Everybody has their own business. So I was like, okay, I'm the only one who's doing a job. Let me just try. Worst, I fail. So when I was quitting my last job in Emirates NBD, I made it actually very clear to my boss. I was like, listen, I am leaving, but if I don't do well in life, what I'm trying, I will come back. So he said, Zeba, no problem. Even if you come back, it's okay. And normally with banks, what happens is if you quit, you cannot enter again for 2 years.
Ooh.
So it's not like a real estate industry where you can just come anytime you want, leave, everybody's accepting you. There are certain protocols. But I had that comfort. I was like, okay, fine, And he said, Zeba, don't worry. Even if you have to come back in 2 months, I will get an approval done and, we will keep you. But at least you're trying. It's a good thing. So that's what prompted me to try. And why this field is, again, very interesting. When I was in the bank over here, I noticed that there were a lot of clients who were forming companies. But the companies, in terms of, they didn't even know so many times that what the company's actual activity was. Whatever the consultant said, they were just blindly going about it. There was no dialogue between the consultant and the client. And I was like, this is really a struggle because when they would come to the bank, the banks wouldn't open their accounts because the activity, what the client is actually doing to what is on the license is completely different. So I was like, let's just have some middle ground over there and let's get into this. And alhamdulillah, it goes well as of now.
Nice. Very good.
Thank you.
Coming back to the bank, there I have one question before we come into the next step. What I say see multiply times, if the investors are getting a golden visa or even a 2 years residence card and they're going to the bank, still sometimes the bank, they don't want to open a bank account to the person who have a golden visa or a resident card. Why is it like that? So me as a real estate owner or advisor have to go again every time with my clients there and say, listen, this guy have to pay his DEVA bills and but he have to put money on the account and how much funds. But why is it like this? They have a residence account. Why the banks strictly are looking still that they should have at least 200,000, 300,000 dirhams on their bank account?
Okay.
If you cannot answer it and you're not allowed and I bring you problems, then say, let's skip.
Okay. See, obviously, the banks, first people need to understand that it's a bank, right? It is there for making profit. It's not a non-profit organization. What happens is the compliances for somebody who's just become a resident to vis-a-vis somebody who's already a resident from a long time and has some sort of substance established in this country, there is a difference. For someone who's absolutely new, we've seen in, with the bank that, there's been so much effort in opening the account and then the client doesn't put any sort of funding in the account, right? So the banks in order, and also because there are a lot of new checks, there are a lot of checks that happen for a new resident. For example, you're from Germany.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you happen to say you already have an account, but if you have to open an account in any other bank, they would open it for you easily the same day itself, perhaps. The reason is because they already have your history. They already know, literally, they want to find out about your blood, what's your blood type, what's your group. They could find that out. But over here, it's extremely raw for the banks. So there's a lot of checks that goes in. And as a result of which, if the client then doesn't put any sort of liquidity in the bank, it doesn't justify.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. And how we are in the regulation in between, like, I ask, because last week it happened. There's a person, he have a golden visa. So he have multiple properties here in the market, but still he have assets and funds in Europe without saying the country. So now the bank was coming and say, please update your bank. We need your tax identification number.
Yes.
So does he have to provide, or why he have to provide a tax identification number if he has a golden visa resident, he's living here and he have assets there? How is the regulation there really? Because no one is finding something, okay, does I have to be completely outside of Europe? Is it legal that the bank still need my, because of course a lot of people moved from Europe to Dubai, living there. Maybe they have 3-4 apartments in Europe, but they are not living more there. So is there they still have to provide the tax identification number? Can say, no, look, here's my golden visa.
Correct.
I'm living in Dubai. I'm not.
This is a very interesting question. So what happens is, wherever the client is domiciled, so obviously it's the tax applicable of that particular country. For example, if the client is domiciled in UAE, UAE has no tax obligations on the personal name, right? Because there's no personal tax over here. So if you're saying the client has moved out and is living over here and is a resident, there is no need to declare that. So for example, where you have this form, the tax residency form, you have 3 options. You have A, B, and C. So A is the one is stating that the country doesn't issue a TIN number, a tax residency number. It's fine. They can just stick that up and that's existing. Maybe a lot of people are not aware of it, but they can very well state that.
Amazing.
So I don't know why this happened with your client.
Amazing. So coming now yet back to the golden visa. Many people still don't understand which type of option I have to get a golden visa.
Sure.
So it's very well known, by a purchase of a property of 2 million dirham, you can get a golden visa, but there are as well many other options how to get a golden visa. Can you explain the audience which type of options they have to apply for a golden visa?
Okay. So golden visa, you have a lot of options, right from ranging from somebody who's an outstanding student. So assuming you've been to a good university, you've got a good score, you can apply. For somebody who's a freelancer and has done exceptionally wonderful in their work, they could apply. Could be a doctor, anybody from the humanitarian grounds, whoever has done any sort of work which is directly related to people and helping people. Could be a volunteer, could be a sports person like an athlete, could be a singer, an actor, anybody from the arts domain. It could also be with somebody who's just kept a fixed deposit in the bank, right? They could even, a 2 million fixed deposit in the bank also qualifies for a golden visa. Someone who's an entrepreneur and has substantial returns, audited financials can also apply, and someone who's salaried. And of course, we have the property criteria.
Very good. But would I be eligible as an entrepreneur, as a real estate owner and CEO for a golden visa? Could I tell you now, Zema, please apply for my golden visa? Or is it hard? You should have a very high position, let's say by Microsoft or...
Oh, no, it doesn't depend. So it's always done case-to-case basis. If you have audited financials, if the company is regularly filing all their returns, and if it falls within the bracket, you can apply. No problem.
Amazing. And there is no time in between. The company have to be 1 year or 2 years or 3 years in the market?
Ideally, we're looking at 3 years minimum.
3 years minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And which type of benefits do people have if they have a golden visa?
Okay. The major benefit of a golden visa is, you have clients who've moved here, but there are clients who are nomads. They just love traveling. They were like, okay, summers will have to be in Europe, winters somewhere else, winters maybe in UAE, some other country at some point of time. So in that case, the golden visa gives them that liberty where it's not committed for the individual to be there for X amount of days in a year. The person could just take residency and doesn't want to show their face for the next 10 years also, it's fine. Whereas other countries who give a long-term residency, they have a minimum regulation, like a requirement where they have to be for X amount of days in a year. UAE doesn't have that, so it's phenomenal. With this, you can easily sponsor not just your family members, which is your spouse and your kids. You could also sponsor your parents, unlimited domestic help. You could sponsor that. With this, whatever income that you earn in your personal name, because you're a resident over here, even if you're not a resident, but assuming now it's golden visa and it's a resident, in that case, all your personal income, whatever you've generated, is all tax-free.
Amazing.
So
and does the sponsoring cost extra? For example, I purchased a property for 2 million dirham.
Yeah.
Now I want to include my wife and my kids. So do I have to pay extra for each person, or how it will be structured?
So in that case, you will be the primary applicant because the property is registered in your name. You can very well sponsor your wife as a dependent applicant and your kids as dependent applicants. They don't need to have 2 million properties on their name.
Okay, perfect.
Although they would love it, so just do it.
but I have to pay for them as well. So it means I have to pay for my golden visa.
Yeah.
2 million means just I'm applicable to get the golden visa. Then I have it, and then I have to pay extra fee.
The government fees, it's 6,000 dirhams for the dependent above 18. So it's nothing. If you actually calculate that over 10 years, you're talking about 520 dirhams maybe per year, 510 dirhams per year, which is nothing.
Amazing. And how it will be if two people are purchasing? So it means 50-50. So it means I purchase now a property for 2 million. And my wife will say, no, it will be not 100% on your name. I have to secure myself as well. We have to be 50-50 there inside. Yeah. Does I still get the golden visa?
Yes. So land department, interestingly, recognizes the husband and wife as one unit.
Wow.
So for example, if you and your wife co-own a property 50-50, you're both, it's treated as one unit. So you can very well qualify. Similarly, if, for instance, it was you and your friend on that property as 50-50 and the property was 2 million, they cannot qualify because in that case, they will be treated individually. It's only the husband and wife that are treated as one unit.
Amazing. So just if you're really legally married?
Legally married, yes.
Then, yes. So husband and girlfriend, it's not working, and partners not working.
Correct.
So, okay, amazing. And what happens if this 10 years expires?
You can renew it.
And is there a guarantee for it?
The government has said so, and UAE doesn't ever let anybody down.
And how much it costs to renew a golden visa after 10
So, for
years?
example, if I talk about the government cost is 10,000 dirhams for the primary applicant. On the time of renewal, providing your property is still on your name, you can renew it for as low as 6,000 dirhams.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. So I guess for golden visa, we discussed everything. I guess everyone should know now how the game works. Quick break to share some exciting news from DubaiView. Our boutique approach means we get exclusive first access to some of the Dubai's most remarkable properties. Just this month, we've added stunning new listings that aren't available anywhere else. Want to be first to know about these hidden gems? Visit our website for private consultation. Now, back to our conversation. Let's go to the business setup.
Sure.
Because business setup, I guess it's a wide range.
Yeah,
There's Freezone, there is Mainland. What is the difference between a Freezone company and the Mainland company? Mm-hmm. And when do you recommend someone to enter a Freezone company, and when you recommend someone to enter a Mainland company?
Okay. So UAE has a lot of structures. It's not only Mainland or Freezone, there's Offshore and there's foundations. A foundation is simple. Wherever the Britishers went, it's called a trust. Wherever they didn't go, it's called a foundation. You have an offshore company, which is completely just for investment and holding purpose. It's not a transactional company. Coming to Mainland and Freezone, They both are beautiful setups. In Freezone, everything can happen 100% remotely. The client doesn't need to be there in this region at all. Everything can be done remotely, except when they have to take their visas or renew their visas. With Mainland, at certain stages, you're required to be there. Similarly, with free zones, you can opt for multiple activities on one license. In a Mainland, that's a constraint wherein you just have one activity on the license. However, with Mainland, the benefit is you could have your office anywhere in the Mainland city, and you can hire a lot more people without the worry of, okay, you know what, now I have to hire somebody, I have to take a office space in that particular area itself, which is there for the free zone. So it's got more flexibility in that respect. So it really depends on what the goal of the client is. And of course, there are certain activities which can only be done in a Mainland. For example, real estate can only be done in a Mainland. You can't do that in a free zone.
Amazing. And can I send invoices as a Mainland company outside of the UAE or
100%.
As a free zone?
100%, no problem.
So both if free zone or Mainland, I can operate as well outside
Absolutely.
the UAE. Very interesting. And offshore, can you explain again offshore? What is offshore again?
So offshore companies are typically formed for a purpose of only holding or investing in assets. For example, you have, say, a property in Germany. But now you're not based in Germany, you're based in UAE. If you want that property to be managed from here or to be under the UAE setup, you would mention that the property or whatever assets you hold could be financial assets, could be real estate, could be any subsidiary companies that you have. It's all held by the master company over here. So in that case, a lot of times what happens is big business houses or do not want, it's 100% very, very private and discrete. That's one thing. Secondly, they want to hold all their assets in one place. So they don't want it to be a transactional company, because with transactional company, you're seeing transactions happening. They want this company only purely to be from the perspective that it's just for investment perspective or holding assets.
Amazing. So that means if I'm a German citizen and I have 10, 15 units in Germany and I move to Dubai and I don't want to sell them, I can create an offshore company, and the offshore company are managing the properties.
Absolutely possible.
In Germany.
Yeah.
Perfect. Staying on there, a lot of European people, the world is going unfortunately crazy in the moment. No one knows in which direction we go. They are sending their assets and funds from France, Italy, Germany, wherever to Dubai. So, and a lot of people are entrepreneurs having a company in Dubai. Which type of solutions there are, for example, with tax benefits to open a company here in Dubai with holding structures? Can you tell us there a little bit about that, how it can work?
Sure. See, the biggest reason why clients from these countries want to leave is because of the taxation, because of the inheritance tax. Some places it's not very suitable in terms of, some people do not identify with multiple genders. So they just want to have a little cleaner approach, various reasons, also the unrest in certain countries. In UAE, it's extremely easy. When you open a company, right, what kind of structure you take in order to get the tax residency. It depends upon if the client is actually moving out and is living here full time, or it's still based in some other country and just wants this company for tax efficiency reasons, right? It completely depends upon that. It depends upon what the activity is ultimately of the company. So every solution that we give the client is tailor-made to that client. So I can't have one size fits all sort of a thing, because everybody has different requirements.
Which else of opportunities there are for investors to save taxation in other countries moving to Dubai if they have an operating company in Europe?
Okay. See, if they become residents or they have a resident director over here, in that case, what happens is they will be treated as per that the client is domiciled here. The resident is domiciled over here. So then in that case, they will be saved from their taxation which exists in their country. Again, this is very country to country specific, but say just a general country. Say, for example, I'm talking about India over here. So in that case, if there's a resident director, they can very well optimize their taxation. It's not about evading tax. It's just about optimizing it correctly.
Okay, amazing. So that means you are, for people here to apply for the golden visa, you are opening accounts for them, bank accounts as well, company accounts.
Yes.
Are there any other points what I forgot to mention what you are offering to the
So we
people
also
here?
do accountancy and tax related services wherein we guide the client on how should the return be done, the bookkeeping element, everything. We look at it from start to end.
But this is an interesting part because the taxation is very new now
Yeah,
in Dubai. So it's 9%. So I can talk about Germany, where we have much higher taxes. But there was options, for example, I can buy a car from my company because I'm the CEO. I can use business dinners in the end of the year for the taxation. So there's multiple options using expenses to reduce the taxes.
Correct.
Does we have the same opportunities here in Dubai to reduce this 9%, or how are the rules here in Dubai?
So for example, obviously, the generic principle is if it's used for a company expense, you can very well save on that because it's an expense and it's a utility based item. So 100% you can incorporate that, but it needs to be justified. Just for example, in Germany, you have a certain limit which needs to be justified. You can't just put as everything, as business dinners. There is a certain amount. Likewise, with UAE, we have that amount, which if it's justified, 100% it's fine.
Amazing. And AML appliances, are you offering such
Yes,
things?
so we do AML and we do AML reviews and compliance for the client, yes.
Amazing, amazing. So now my most important question, hopefully we will become all old and we go in pension. Are there anything for us expats that we can still live here in that country? If we not work anymore or we are not more into business, are there anything for expats like visas, like pension visas or something similar?
Yeah. So we do have a visa for above the age of 55, and if they have an investment either in property or they have an investment in the bank, which is 1 million dirhams, if they have that, they can get a 5-year visa, and this visa is renewable. Assuming that they do not want to put that 2 million and block it up, even at 1 million, they can do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for all my listeners who are now currently checking for opening a new company or getting a golden visa, how they can reach you?
They could contact me on my number or email me. Email is the best, and we can guide them.
Perfect. So I will tag your Instagram account. You have Instagram?
I do.
Perfect. So I will tag your Instagram account, and I mentioned your email address in the caption. So
Thank you so
everyone
much.
who is watching for company setups and having the right trusted person in Dubai on the site, they can contact you.
Thank you.
And they are in safe hands. Thank you so much, Seema, for having you here. It was a pleasure.
Likewise, it was a pleasure being here.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Mario.
much. Thank you.